Hi, happy Friday. My name is immigration attorney Wendy Witt. I'm the owner of the Witt Law Firm. I help people cross borders legally so they can live their American dream. Today, I'm going to talk about 10 ways that you can afford an immigration lawyer for your case. Hiring an immigration lawyer, it can be a scary thing if you've never worked with attorneys or law firms before. And choosing the immigration attorney that you're going to work with is going to be one of the most important decisions that you will make, probably for years. It is so important because who you decide to work with to secure your status in the United States is going to depend on your chances of success and how you're going to feel during the process. You may feel very scared and anxious now. That can make it hard to think about the real world cost of working with a lawyer and going through the immigration process. I've come up with a list of 10 ways that if you don't have the cash on hand today, that you can use these 10 ideas in order to fund your own legal case. So the first one is the obvious one, and that is to hire a nonprofit, a local nonprofit legal services group. These are things like Catholic Charities and other groups that have lawyers on staff. These people are trained, they're very good at what they do in most cases, and they'll take your case for free as long as you qualify. Now, you'll have to meet very strict income guidelines in order to get their help. Often they're only able to take a certain number of cases, so even if you qualify for their legal aid, they may not have capacity and will refer you out to a private attorney. In that case, you'll need to keep going through the list to get other ideas. A second way to pay for legal services is through a payment plan through your lawyer. When you go to hire an immigration attorney, many offer different kinds of payment plans. There will be some that will have short time frames depending on your case. Some, they may let you spread it out longer. So be sure to always ask your lawyer about what payment plans they have available, if any. Another way to pay for an immigration lawyer would be through a credit card. If you're in the United States and you have a job, you're probably eligible to qualify for a credit card, so that is another way that you can pay. Now, obviously there will be some interest fee, so the quicker you can pay off the legal services, the better your credit and the less you'll have to pay overall. In my office, for some types of cases, not all, we do offer a payment plan through your credit card. So that lets you pay by the month automatically, and it lets you spread it out over a number of times, depending on how long your case takes. A fourth way to pay for legal services is through a personal loan. A personal loan for friends and family. That means you explain to your family that you're going through an immigration process, that you need help with the fees. Explain what your goals are, what you're trying to do, why they should help you with it, and hopefully they'll help you out. I mean, if you're facing deportation, removal, or having a spouse or a child removed from the United States, most of your friends and family will probably want to help you in any way you can. A fifth way to pay for legal services is through a personal loan from your bank. Now, this will really only apply if you are in the United States and you have an actual bank account that you could use. If you're not here, if you're only here as a visitor and you haven't established a bank account, this may be a lot harder to establish credit. But if you're in the United States, you have credit, you've been working, you may be able to get a small loan for your bank to pay for the legal services. Sometimes the interest is kind of high on these because they're not secured. They're considered unsecured loans. Unless you have an asset like a house or something that you could get a mortgage on, then that may be possible to get a loan at a smaller interest payment. A sixth way to pay for legal services would be just to use a pro bono lawyer. That means that you don't pay anything. The pro bono lawyer will handle your case for free. Now, to get a law firm to assign you a pro bono lawyer, you're really going to have some type of case that would interest them. It would need to be a fairly high profile case in most times, or you'll need to have a really sympathetic situation. For example, if you are a political refugee from a third world country that has a very high profile case, you may be able to get one of the larger law firms to take your case, assign a pro bono attorney, and you don't pay anything. If you have a more average case, let's say you're trying to just file for citizenship, or you're fighting a basic removal charge, or you're trying to bring a spouse, they're probably not going to assign you a pro bono attorney for something like that. A seventh way to pay for an immigration attorney would be for a salary advance from your employer. If your employer is supportive of your immigration goals and you actually have a regular salary with them, you may want to talk to them to see if they could advance your pay for a few months or weeks to let you pay off the lawyer so you can go work on your case. If having you here in legal status benefits your employer, possibly they'd help you out this way. The eighth and a related way to pay for legal services would be for what we call a payday loan. This is something that's in the United States. To do this, you'll need a regular job. You'll need to have pay stubs, proof that you're working, and you go to these companies and you ask for a loan that you will pay back when you get paid. Now, these often come at a very high interest rate, so definitely be careful and make sure that you know what you're signing up for if you choose to do that. I'd say a ninth way to pay for legal services is through something called microlending. And this is a newer way to finance matters. There's different websites that you can go to apply for this. And this is where an individual or sometimes a group of individuals will aggregate, come together to lend money to another person. This is an option that may be available if you're outside the United States, if banking and lending isn't something that is really standardized in your country. You might be able to get one of these micro-lending programs to help you out. And the 10th and final way that you may be able to help pay for an immigration attorney is for what we call crowdfunding. Examples of these are Funded Justice. That's a crowdfunding program for legal services. There's also Kickstarter and GoFundMe. This will work usually only if you have a type of case that the public would really be interested in, a compelling story. You put out the information, you sign up for a campaign on one of these websites, promote it through social media, family, friends, and people donate to it. If you have a high-profile case or a very sympathetic case and you already have a lot of friends and family who want to help you, but maybe they can only contribute $5 or $10, consider crowdfunding. It may be a way to get all of the resources that you need for your case. Now, there are some things that I want you to avoid or that won't work. One is free help from friends and neighbors. Just because your friend applied for asylum 10 years ago under a different administration, do not let that person fill out your form. They're not attorneys. They might have gone through it themselves, but they do not really know what they're doing. They may be trying to do you a favor. It's probably going to be more harmful than good. Avoid. Another so-called tax preparers who try to prepare immigration forms. They know nothing about immigration. They just know how to fill out a form. That is not what you need. This can get you in a lot of trouble. Do not let your tax provider prepare your immigration case, please. Another thing that's not going to work is contingency fees. Immigration lawyers cannot take a contingency fee, and I will explain why this is. A contingency fee, if you don't know, is when you hire a lawyer and instead of giving them money, you agree that you're going to give them a percentage of the amount of money that you win in the lawsuit. Well, in immigration, there's no money. You're not going to win money. You get your citizenship, that's not money. That is a great benefit to you, but it has no cash value to the immigration attorney. I had people propose, well, when I come here, if you get me my green card and I get a job, then I'll pay you back. That is also sort of a contingency fee, but not really. Immigration lawyers cannot take a case on a contingency fee. We have to either take the case for your payment or we take the case for free. There's no contingency in immigration work. If someone offers you that, it's a scam. Avoid. Finally, hiring a paralegal. I've heard this concept that people are going to hire a paralegal and not a lawyer so they can save money on their immigration case. A paralegal cannot represent you in immigration court. They cannot represent you before the immigration services. Sure, they can fill out a form, but that's not really representation. You can fill out a form. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for an immigration strategy, an advocate, and to win your immigration benefit. You're not just trying to get forms filled. This can really lead to a lot of problems, especially if you hire someone who knows nothing about immigration. Well, that is my advice. Those are 10 ways to help pay for legal services if you don't have the money. And I hope that helps you. If you know someone who's trying to come up with money to afford an immigration lawyer, please forward and share this video with them, and maybe it can give them some ideas of what to do. Okay, I've got one question so far. Vez Beta, you asked if TPS holders are issued an alien registration number. What is an alien registration number? An alien registration number is a number that's assigned to you by the Immigration Services. That is how they keep track of your file. Most people who apply for an immigration benefit are going to be issued an alien registration number, and that usually includes TPS holders. You'll know what your alien registration number is when you look at your receipt that you get back from the Immigration Services. It will have it on there. If that line is blank, you don't have one. Is that something to be worried about? Not usually, but talk to your lawyer if you think that you should have one and you don't. Anyway, that's all of the questions that have been written in today. Thank you so much for everybody who came to watch. If you have a question and you didn't get here in time, because I did have to start a little bit early today, please post your question in the comment, and I will check back later today and answer any questions that do come in. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next Friday at noon. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a great weekend.